What's going on, everyone? So, Austin Reaves is a solid player. Now, this past season, he wasn't who we expected him or thought he would be, and primarily was his struggles shooting the basketball. It was something that I talked about and highlighted pretty much all season long. That, no, his main struggles are stemming from he can't find the bottom of the net from 3-point range. He's been abysmal, right? He was so inconsistent, so hot and cold. And that was a big issue because we needed him to be able to hit the open shots, because if he was able to hit the open shots, then that opens things up not only for the Lakers, but for himself. And it makes things a lot easier. So then he started having to work harder and whatnot. And now look, you look at him the year prior, and he was unbelievable. I mean, just complete surprise. We were all hyped on him. I was hyped on him. I was hyping Austin Reaves up like he was the second coming of Michael Jordan. I was very disappointed this season in him. I was. He wasn't bad. And I do think some people overblow the whole Austin Reaves narrative this season, or this past season, I guess. But I still, there's no denying he wasn't anywhere close to what we needed him to be. He is a very good role player, right? But he's not the bona fide, borderline all-star guy that is a clear-cut third best player on the Lakers. Right? He wasn't that this year. And, I've seen the excuses and I've seen, people try to defend it. And look, maybe you're right. Maybe it was he just played a ton of basketball. He did play all 82 games, played FIBA, he did all that stuff. Could explain why he couldn't shoot the three, tired legs. I get it. But if that was really the issue and that was really the concern, why wouldn't he just rest? Take 2 weeks off. Just rest your body, rest your mind, rest everything. Right? If that was really the driving narrative, it's also just possible that he is who he is. Maybe he's not as good as he was the previous year, but maybe he's not as bad as he was last year. Maybe he's somewhere in the middle, which would be a very good player. But there is this sentiment and this idea that Austin Reaves is essentially untradeable, right? You cannot trade him by any stretch of the imagination. Giannis, forget it. Prime Michael Jordan? Nope. Sorry, pass. Right? I get so many comments from people that are just whatever you cannot trade Austin Reaves for that. It's what? Right? I've gotten comments where people are if you want Donovan Mitchell, that's fine, but you can't trade Austin Reaves for Donovan. I would drive down to Austin Reaves' house myself and pack his bags for Donovan Mitchell. I love Austin Reaves. I think he's a great player. If there's a way to keep him, right? If you could go get Donovan Mitchell and still keep Austin Reaves, then fine, right? Even Austin Reaves as a sixth man, I think would be fantastic. But there is just so much overblown just hype for Reaves that it wasn't warranted this past year. I understood it the previous year. But we've seen lots of guys have spectacular seasons. Chandler Parsons is the guy that comes to mind. That got an absolute bag. He has joked about it since that, the Grizzlies owner or whatever, Houston's owner, gave him an absolute bag. And it was he was shocked that he was even offered that because he just had one good run. We've seen guys have good runs. Michael Carter-Williams, right? He was rookie of the year, averaged nearly a triple-double, looked like he was the next coming of the point guard. Where is he now? Not even in the league. We've seen guys have great moments. But when it comes to Austin Reaves, there was a report that came out per Jovan Buha where he talked about what the Lakers are looking for in a potential Austin Reaves trade, and that they don't really want to trade Austin Reaves, but if the right trade comes along, they would be willing to offload him. So basically it boils down to a all-star, superstar level talent, right? So if they can get a Donovan Mitchell, if they could get, a Trae Young, they could get basically any type of bona fide all-star, then they'll trade Austin Reaves in order to do so, which, you'd have to do regardless. So I don't think that this is a crazy idea and sentiment, but just to kind of quote what he said, I've heard the Lakers do not want to trade Austin Reaves. They love Austin Reaves, but if there was a scenario in which they would consider trading him, it would have to be for a bona fide all-star. Reaves is going to be the player that every franchise asks for this summer because his contract is more valuable compared to other potential trade assets like Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, and Jared Vanderbilt, Jovan Buha said. So again, this is something that I get. And look, I've talked about it too, right? Like, you don't just trade Austin Reaves to trade Austin Reaves, right? He is good. But if the guy is there, if the value is there, like if you can go get a Donovan Mitchell, right? Again, whether that's realistic or not, I know some people don't think it is. We'll see. We're going to find out this offseason. But let's say, just for argument's sake, it is, right? You're not going like, man, we would love Donovan Mitchell, but, Austin Reaves is off the table. Austin Reaves is not Donovan Mitchell. I love Austin Reaves. He is not Donovan Mitchell. He's also not even Trae Young. Right? I'm not big on Trae Young. I don't even really like the idea of Trae Young, if I'm being honest. But like, if you could swap Trae Young for Austin Reaves right now, you do it. Right? Like, it's not even a question. Right? Like, you get the talent, you get the better player. Now, if you were trading Austin Reaves for like, I don't know, I don't know, some flyer, right? Like Royce O'Neal or something like that, then no, I'd probably keep Austin Reaves, right? I think he's a little more versatile. Not the defender, but he's more versatile, right? Again, you're not just giving Austin Reaves away, right? And you do, and like from a Lakers standpoint, you want to kind of paint this like allure of like, man, he is nearly untouchable, because you want to be like, no, he's trash. We want to trade him as soon as we can. No, you want to, you want to paint it that like, hey, if you want Austin Reaves, it's going to cost you, right? Austin Reaves is on a great contract, still incredibly young, upside, talent, right? He's a guy that could be an excellent player, this, that, and the other, right? Like, but to me, it's like, if the deal is there, you do it, right? Like, I was in the camp of trading him for Dejounte Murray. And I got people that gave me pushback for that. And it's like, wait, time out. Austin Reaves is not Dejounte Murray. He doesn't have the versatility, the athleticism, the playmaking, he can score the basketball. Dejounte Murray is, without a doubt, the better player. Like, it's not a question. Dejounte Murray has been an all-star. He has led a team to the playoffs as the clear-cut best player, where the team wasn't even very good in the West. He's a guy that was on an all-defensive team. This guy is by far and away. And to me, it was like, you could land Dejounte Murray if you just trade Austin Reaves. And to me, I was like, that's a no-brainer, right? Like, give it up, right? Like, especially if you don't have to give up as many assets, right? And even this offseason, I feel the same way, right? Again, I'm not big on Trae, but I would gladly take Dejounte Murray. And if you could do Austin Reaves, let's say Austin Reaves, Gabe Vincent in a first for Dejounte Murray, here you go. Package it up, right? Like, maybe you even work something out to where you get Clint Capella or something, right? Maybe you're doing, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reaves for Clint Capella and Dejounte Murray, something like that. Right? You throw in whatever, Jalen Utrafino or whatever. But the point is, let's say that's fine. You do that. Do that all day, including Sunday. Like, that's, to me, that's, again, another no-brainer. That's another, yeah, duh. Like, again, if you can get a clear upgrade, you do it. The other thing is, too, is that, again, I love Austin Reaves. I want to make that clear. But we can't overvalue him, right? He's 25 years old. And he's not in his second year as a 20-year-old or 22-year-old. No, he's 25, going to be 26 coming up. He'll be 26 in a week. So, again, he's going into what will be his fourth year, but he's an older guy in that sense, right? Like, he's not a guy that came in the league at 19 and, he's about to be, 22, 23, right? And I know some people might look at it and go, yeah, but, 26, it's not that far. But in NBA terms, that's an eternity. I mean, that's the difference between you developing into a star and you just basically staying as a role player, right? I think Austin Reaves, does Austin Reaves still have more potential and room to grow? Sure, I'm not going to put a limit on his necessary skill level, but he's closer to his ceiling than he is to his floor. Like, we're not going to wake up in a year or two and all of a sudden he's going to be, a top 5 player in the league or something like that. Like, that's not going to happen. He's not probably ever going to even be a top 20, 30 guy. Like, I think that's even a stretch, right? Like, he is a very good role player that is on a very valuable contract that you should use as to incorporate and kind of dictate a trade, right? Like, that's a leverage point for you if you're the Lakers. He's very talented. He's a high IQ guy that can fit on any roster in the league. Literally. You could plug and play him on any team in the league and he'd fit seamlessly, right? You use that as your selling point. You talk about how he's making basically peanuts for his production. Is he worth more than the money he's making? Absolutely, especially by today's standards. And look, if he can get his 3-point shot to fall and get back to, real consistency from 3 like he was in the previous year, then, I still believe he's a 20-plus point a game guy. Like, genuinely. Like a lot of people, like, when Austin Reaves, kind of floundered and stuff, like, I had people point to some of the old videos that I made and, you talked about Austin Reaves being a 20-point scorer and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, go look at his stats. And if he just shot what he shot last year from 3-point range, he would have been. Right? Like, people act like it's this, like, far-fetched. He averaged just under 16 points a game, 15.9. Right? 15.9. If his production was the issue, this year, he shot 58.3% from the field, from 2-point range. He had an EFG of 56.8. He shot 36.7% from 3-point range. He shot 40% the year prior. If he shoots 40% from 3-point range, guess what he is? He's a 21-point-a-game scorer, almost 22-point-a-game scorer. And he also had 5 rebounds and 5 assists, or 4.3 if you want to be exact, right? So let's call it 4 and 5, right? So you're talking about a guy that legitimately can be a 25-5 guy. That's what I said in the past offseason. And he can be. Right? He absolutely can be. He was just 16-5-5, and he shot terrible. He literally dropped like 15% from the field total. Right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, 100% he could be that guy. But we'll see. Again, I don't think you don't just trade Austin Reaves just for the sake, just to say like, oh yeah, we made a move, right? But no, if you can go get a Dejounte Murray, again, I'm not really big on Trae Young, but if the Lakers are going to trade for Trae Young, they're going to trade Austin Reaves. Trae Young, if you get a Donovan Mitchell, if you can get a clear better player and a clear upgrade, you go get the better player and the upgrade and you figure it out. You do. It's what you do. Obviously fit and things like that are important and are impactful, but you get the piece and you figure it out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you somewhere in between? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.